Hey everybody, welcome to another tiny video. Today we're going to look at Constitution card sort. We're going to make the Constitution a little more relatable because sometimes it can be a little dry. So what this is you're going to take the six basic principles of government, and you can see them there. Depending on when your district teaches government, they may have some ideas about this, or if not, your government teachers are going to love you if they learn it in their senior year. So you're going to briefly go over those, but then you're going to give them pictures that seemingly have nothing to do with government, and you're going to make them place it in one of the six categories. And then once they do it, you're going to make them justify and explain why they put the pictures where they did. So some things to think about: how much do you actually need to pre-teach this? So if they know nothing, you may need to spend a little more time on the six principles. Are you going to, if you do groups, how are you going to set them up? So think about how many, who's going to be sitting with who, all types of different things. What images do you want to use is probably going to be the hardest part. We'll talk about that in a second. And then maybe you want to get your students to find their own images. So at the beginning, go over it. But then at the bottom, you can see a particular image that you would have students place in one of these categories. So for example, a student could say, I think this goes into popular sovereignty because this gives power to the people, right? So that one's pretty straightforward, but just an example that you could throw in there. This one's kind of interesting. I've seen people go different ways, but when I was still in the classroom, I would use the structure of school to try and talk about federalism. So the idea of, kind of the executive branch being the administration, and then each class and the teachers kind of being different states, and kind of the pros and cons of teachers having different laws or enforcing things differently. So I would argue that would go into federalism, and that would be my argument. But you could definitely argue different things for school as long as students can back it up. Bowling, this one's kind of interesting. So I would argue this goes into limited government because you kind of have a lane that you have to stay in. But that's a bit of a stretch, but all types of different things that you can incorporate here just to get students to think different. The X could be maybe judicial review, if that is declaring something unconstitutional, et cetera, et cetera. So just thinking about these images that students can connect to, but then putting it in a category and explaining why. So we talked about the Constitution card sort. Hopefully it's an engaging way that you might use right away to talk about something that can be dry as far as the Constitution goes. Think about the images. How are the students going to work collaboratively? How are they going to share their thinking? And maybe you want the students to find their own images. Hopefully that helps, and thanks for watching.